Hello. Today I want to show you how to make Maltese Pastizzies. If you've ever been to Malta, you'll know how delicious they taste. I wanted to find the ingredients and a way of making them here in the UK. So I've been doing quite a bit of experimenting, trying different products, and hopefully you'll agree I've come up with a very good result. I hope you enjoy it. The ingredients you need to make the pastizzies is just plain flour, ricotta, butter, some shortening, salt and an egg. Right, the flour is just plain flour. I chose this one because it doesn't need sifting, but any plain flour will do. The ricotta, this is a 250 gram container. I'm going to use it all. I've tried a few different ricottas, and the one from Tesco is the one I favour. It's the one that has the very similar taste to the ones in Malta. So I recommend the Tesco one, but any ricotta really. Butter, just ordinary butter. Don't get the low calorie ones or the easy spread ones or anything like that. Just ordinary butter, because these other ones have a high content of water if they're easy spread, in which we don't want that. Right, ordinary butter. The shortening, I use Trex. In some countries, Crisco make suitable shortening. Crisco, Trex, whatever you can get hold of in your country. If you can't get either, just look for a vegetable fat, because they're both just vegetable fats. That's all they are. And I'm going to use 3 ounces of Trex and 1 ounce of butter today. Salt, ordinary table salt will do, but I've used this coarse ground sea salt, just because I wanted to really, but ordinary table salt will do. 1 ordinary egg, and you need a measure. This is these cup measures. This is 1/3 of a cup, which is what I'm going to use today, and that's all you need. Right, in the container I've already got 3 ounces of the shortening, the Trex, and I'm going to add to it 1 ounce of butter. That's about right. Right, it's best if you leave it at room temperature for a while, if it's just come out of the fridge, and it's just easier to mix. So just mix the butter and the Trex together, or whatever you're using for your shortening, and you'll see that if it's come straight from the fridge, it's a bit difficult, but it's been left just at room temperature, it's much easier. That'll do. That's fine. Now then, into a bowl you need 5 measures of flour. I'm using 1/3 of a cup measure, which I bought from the supermarket. Right, so you need 5 of these. I'm doing level ones because I know that this gives the right consistency. For 1 more, five. Then you need to add some salt. I've just ground some salt into a container, and for this amount of flour you probably need about a heaped, well, about a heaped teaspoonful of salt, about that much. Right, put that in. And like I say, I used sea salt, but if you want to use just normal table salt, that will do as well. I just mix that up. Right, and I'm going to make a little well in the middle because I'm going to put some water in here. Right, so that's 5 cups of flour, a teaspoonful of salt, and now we'll put some cold water in. The amount of salt you use, of course, is a matter of taste. So if you want to put a bit more or a bit less in, that's up to you. This is the same measure I use for the flour, and this is water straight from the tap. Now it must be cold. Right, so it's just 1, 2 of water. So we have 5 flour, 2 of water. Right, when you mix it up, put the mortar in, just mix it up. Right, so try and get as much flour as you can to pick up the water. Something like that will do nicely to get started. Right, now it's very sticky at this stage, so I'm keeping it off my hands. But, yeah, you don't have to be too accurate. That'll do. Right, then you have to mix the dough up, and for this I just put a bit of flour on the table. Empty it out. Bit of flour on top because I don't want it to stick to my fingers, and just mix it all together. And as you mix it, it starts forming a dough. Right, so I'm going to, when it gets to this stage like that, where you can actually pick it up, you need to start kneading it. And you're better off standing up and doing this. And press it in and fold it over and stretch it. And just keep on doing that. Don't add any more water to it, but you might need to add a bit more flour. Right, starting to mix better now. And just keep on doing this. I've been doing it for about 4 minutes now. Right, that'll do, I think. I've been doing it for about 8 or 9 minutes now, and actually I didn't need to add any more flour. Sometimes you do, but what you want is it needs to be not sticky, right? It should be completely mixed, and it shouldn't be sticky. Right? Now, you can, if this is the first time you've done it, do it in 2 halves, do it in 2 lots, because you'll find that the stage afterwards might be a bit tricky if you've not done it before. So I'm going to split into 2. You don't need to, it's just you might find it easy if it's the first time you've done it. Get the shortening butter mix, just want a bit of this, it should be really soft now, and just rub a bit on the outside, just coat it with the cling film. do the same with the other. You don't need much. Right. And that's had quite a bit of a pounding, so that now needs to go into the fridge for about 3 hours to rest. Right, to make the filling, you need just 1 egg, and just mix it up. That's fine. One teaspoonful of salt. This is more of a level teaspoon, so it's a little less than last time, really. Got to do like salt. And then the ricotta. Now, the ricotta sometimes. That was a bit difficult to open. The ricotta sometimes, if it has any liquid in, you don't want the liquid, so I'll just get rid of that. And just add the whole tub, which is 250 grams. I think that's about 9 ounces, I think. I don't know. Right, and just mix it all up. And I usually do this when I've just mixed the dough and it's in the fridge resting for 3 hours. It's a good mix. And there we go. And just put that to one side. Alright, so these have been in the fridge for about 3 hours. As I said before, you can do it all in one go, but I'll split them into 2 just to make it easier if this is your first time you've done this. So I'll just do one of them first of all.